Up, y'all? This is Unbiased Brim, and I had to do this. First and foremost, I'm a boxing fan, a legendary Arkansas Razorback athletics fan. But tonight, well, not tonight, but this morning, it's tonight for me because I work at night. But I got to talk about this. This is about the myth, which is very popular, versus the facts of Brian Norman Jr. versus Boots Ennis. Why did the fight not happen? Everybody in the world, Norman ducked. They offered him 1.7 million. He only ever made $100,000 his last fight. That's the things that you'll hear. His dad talk about they not confident, they were scared. That's the things that you'll hear. But let's talk about documented timeline facts that will tell you the myth is popular, but it's not the fact. So let's get to some things that we do know. We do know that Matchroom and Eddie Hearn offered Barrios and Stanley Onis a fight with Boot Ennis before there was an offer with Norman. So I think we can all agree that's a fact. Next, we know for a fact that those offers happened before August the 14th. Okay. And I'm giving dates for a reason. Okay. Now, this is not a fact, but this is widely accepted that Mario Barrios was offered within the range of 1.8 to 1.9, close to $2 million to fight Boots. First offer, might I add. Team, no pay, no mind. Stanley Onis, now I'm going to give you some texture with this. Stanley Onis, there was rumored that they was offered a fight. Stanley Onis came out publicly and said, what fight? Ain't nobody offered me no fight. But then we come to find out his team took a listen to what they had to offer and didn't holler at their man, and then they kind of probably just turned it down before they even came to him. So now history is cleared up to some degree, and we know that Stanley Onis was offered at least about 1.5 to 1.7 million on that offer that was went to his team. And we know that he got paid 1.8 for this fight, which he lost, right? So we know that both of those fighters were offered more than 1.5 million to fight to Boots Ennis. And this all happened before August the 14th. And one more fact we will add. Before August the 14th, there was no contact from Eddie Hearn and Matchroom to Norman's team to make a fight. So whatever time frame is, we know before August the 14th, there was no offer and there was some communication with the other two champions. And it was at over a $1.5 million range. Now, this is where it gets sticky for all you guys who believe the myth, okay? So the first offer, and now that everything is fully came out, I knew about this offer before you guys did publicly. So publicly, you didn't know there was ever an offer till August the 22nd, which we'll cover that detail because we want to make sure the timeline stays lined up as we move forward. So at this point, you're getting an offer of 750,000. We're dealing with an August 14th, August 15th date. This transpired. And then they respond back and tell them how much they want. Now, I'm not going to go into the number of how much they want it because it's not necessarily as relevant to what is transpiring, right? Because once they did that communication, my communication was senior, knowing that once they communicated, Matchroom didn't respond back immediately. It actually was anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before they responded. So let's get this right. August the 14th. And then they respond back, let's say August the 14th, August 15th. And you respond back August 17th, August 18th. We're getting our timelines pretty solid here. Okay. And this is based on factual data and communications. So next step, and this is where the details matter. July the 30th, there was an order made from the IBF in regards to Karen Chikatian and Boots Ennis. And you know, when that order is made, you have 30 days to do some of the following. You either make the fight, which are mandatory, you pay him step aside money, and that could come with him being on the undercard, getting paid step aside money, you get him opponent, or you just pay him step aside money so you can make your unification. Then also in that process, you pay $20,000 to the IBF. You file paperwork to execute that because you've made this fight happen, right? And that's what's required for that unification to trump that mandatory, right? So if we're being honest here, Matchroom and Eddie Hearn did not contact Karen from July 30th to August the 18th. Okay? And this is factual. This is not conjecture. So Karen files paperwork. And this paperwork here is to make the fight and set the date for the fight. And there is nothing no one can do once this paperwork hits the table. So August the 18th is a Friday, might I add you. And to add texture, we know that Norman wasn't offered until August 14th at the earliest. So August the 14th, August the 18th, that is an equivalent of 4 days to negotiate a fight. Also, we've stated that it's the fact that the first offer was $750,000, which is half at best compared to the other two champions on their first offer. And this is the last champion that you're having an opportunity to make the fight before you're stuck with this mandatory. So if you're dead set on not having that mandatory, why would your third attempt be the weakest attempt out of them all? Just thoughts for you guys. Let's continue. So there was an interview conducted on YSM, which aired on August the 22nd, which is a Wednesday. That interview was shot on August the 20th, which is a Monday. Now, mind you, Karen filed paperwork August the 18th, I said previously. And I said also, once that paperwork is dead, the fight is dead. So, a couple things to take there. Before the interview was even shot, the fight was dead. Before the interview was aired, the fight was dead. Before the public knew about any offer negotiations of any sort for a Norman and Boots fight, the fight was dead. May I continue? Yes, I shall. Okay, so if Eddie Hearn is serious about making a fight, do you believe your last offer should be half the amount of the other two offers? Do you believe that you should respond after you make that low offer and that team responds to a number that they want? It takes you more than 24 hours to respond to them to offer another offer. Now, this timeline is not factually based, but it looks as, and this we're within a very short frame, within a day or two of correctness, that a $1.2 million offer was made on the 17th or 18th of August. So that means you either had less than 24 hours or no time at all, and the fight was about to die at the $1.2 million mark, okay? Because that was the next offer, okay? Now, continuing on. This interview airs on Wednesday, the 22nd. The public is now intended up in regards to us as boxing fans, and we're paying attention. Oh, Boots offered Norman for the fight, and he turned it down? What happened? Now, this is the conversation. Everybody is now speaking in regards to this, and now it becomes a hot topic. And in the midst of this hot topic, the narrative is now starting to be created and is now forming that Boots offered Norman his biggest payday ever by the longest amount, and he turned down the fight. And now we're starting to have public comments, and you're hearing Norman Sr. speak, and he's saying he would do the fight, but if you're going to do an affiliate, it should be a little more, do it at a neutral, the different site. And then at this point now we're dealing with public negotiations, and this is after August the 20th. This is after August the 18th. We're now at August 22nd, August 23rd, and August 24th. Those 3 days was kind of frenzy for that. These two guys and people in the boxing community was talking about this heavy. So, all the things you heard publicly, 1.5, 1.7, we'll fight here, you fight. None of that mattered at all. And why did it not matter? Why? Because as a person who is a boxing fan and a person that rocks with the Normans and support them, I took the time to say something's not adding up. And what helped me is that I actually knew that there was a conversation about this fight before the public did, because I rocked with them. And shout out to my brother Mark Nash as well, as I continue. So it gets nasty at this point. I mean, diabolical, but brilliant at the same token. You're at a point where everybody's perception publicly is Norman's ducking. The truth of the matter was you had 72 to 96 hours to negotiate a fight. You did not file $20,000 for the paperwork to make sure that the unification trumps the mandatory. You did not communicate with Karen at any point once it was ordered from July 30th, and you allowed him to trim 14 days off of your ability to make any unification fight whatsoever. Then you also offer the last guy you have an opportunity to have a fight with half or less than half the money that you offered the other two champions. But Norman's a duck. Truth is, you had no intention of truly making the fight. You did not. You did a beautiful PR game. You did a beautiful spin job. I mean, it's more. I have to give credit where credit is due. Very intelligent. Eddie, you're a smart man. You're a good businessman. Period. No shade. But I'm going to tell the truth. And I'm going to give you timeline data. So thank you, Rachel Donner, for listening to me when I was researching and reading this stuff and things just didn't add up. And you took the time to go speak to Daryl Peoples. And Daryl Peoples confirmed this information. But no matter what, I say people are going to attack me, right? And so there's a video that's on Mill City, shout out to Mill City, where, Hackett is on, Senior's on, and she pulls up and lets everybody know that I talked to the IBF president and confirmed that once the paperwork hits, it's over with, right? And this happened on August 18th. None of you motherfuckers knew about this fight at this point. None of you. But when you did find out, and then you hear all these public negotiations, he got offered $1.7 million. He was only getting $100,000 his last fight. That offer was fugazi. Public negotiations on a dead fight already. But the narrative and the myth is more popular than the truth. It's more popular than the truth. But that's okay. That's all right. And if I was on StreamYard, I'd pop up the video where I got Rachel and show you the data of when the interview came out. But I'm going to do that on the post of this video. I'm going to put a community tab in and just share that the date of the interview came out on August the 22nd and it was filmed on August the 20th. And I wish I could get that documentation about Karen filing that paperwork, but that's a deleted article now. Why they deleted? We know why, because it's documented proof of timelines that show that Karen filed that paperwork and show that there was no communication from Eddie Hearn. But we know this, but we'll ignore it to call Norman a duck. Right? So go read the IBF bylaws. Confirm what I'm saying if you don't believe me. It's okay if you don't. You're in your pocket for a reason. Nah, it is what it is. But if the facts did not benefit Norman when I researched this, I would have said what I needed to say, broke it down, and kept it moving. But the truth is not popular as the myth. Do with this information as you wish, but it's factual information in regards to the timelines. There was no fight to be had and no intention to make a fight. The truth be told, You do not offer the last champion after getting shut down by the other two half the money. You respond on the next offer more than 24 hours later, knowing you had only 4 days to make the fight. And even if you didn't know, that's your fault, because why in the hell you didn't at least say something to Karen? Something. Again, you let him shave 14 days off your ability to negotiate and make a unification fight. But I'm supposed to believe you really wanted to fight. You fooled the public, but you didn't fool me. And it's okay. So, guys, you might talk shit and listen to this, oh, he's just a fanboy, Norman. But you can't deny the facts. And that's okay. I'm cool with it. I don't got to sign hat. I don't need, they ain't got to give me nothing. Norman fight like an old school fighter. That's why I rock with him. His dad is just my age, and I rock with him. He cool dude, and I can have an honest conversation with him. None but love and respect always. I'm always going to be a fan of them, win, lose, or draw. But the truth is the truth. Facts are the facts. I'm Bias Brims out. Holla.